Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach and going to continue working on this required stuff for Rock's C# 11 feature. And I just kept thinking about this more and more, and I'm like, oh, there's a couple of other things I could do. So constructor properties should always be a init. The reason why is, why are you not tabbing over? There you go. Okay. This should always be a init because this class definition is allowing you to specify required or init properties. There's no reason to make this a set. You're going to initialize this one way or the other, even if the property on the target type is a set, not an init. In this definition, you need to set it on the object initializer. So we're going to say init. Done. Okay, so that's why is this not tabbing over to what I think? Come on, tab, tab, tab. There you go. Okay, so that's done. I forgot to make required properties and constructor properties required. Yeah, duh. So this is saying, and I've noticed in SharpLab that even the required members branch or the latest main branch, they don't all have like the right attributes here, and they don't know what it sets required members attribute is, and you know it's a little squirrely right now. Though I think in Visual Studio should work just fine, but we're going to find out. But yeah, we want required here, so we want to say here public required. Yeah, so we're going to say is required. If it is, then we want the required keyword here with the space, otherwise string dot empty. I don't think you can do this. Yeah, it does a plus there. That's not what I want. But this will be public required or not. Okay, so that takes care of that one. Here's a more interesting one. Sorry, yawn, tired. It's late. I wanted to get one more, or not one more, but a episode in today, and before I go to bed. So, should I make the parameter nullable if there are no required properties? So, in other words, and this is a test I'm setting up to show this. If you look at the init example, which is interface, hold on, then if all you have are inits, then this can technically be null. So if it's null, then I would just return this and not set anything. Otherwise, I'm gonna take and do all the things and set values accordingly. In other words, if you're saying I don't care to set inits, I would just say null and be done with it. And so I think that's a valid case. But if you have any required properties, like in this case of the class, by the way, required does not work on interface properties. You cannot do that. So here I just make a class that's inheritable. It has a virtual, so it'll be picked up by rocks. We also have required. So in this case, if it's null, we'd actually throw this. Otherwise, we're going to do that. Okay, so we're going to throw in one line here to say, you know, whether we make it nullable or not, we're always going to check for null. But then the positive condition is going to do one thing or another either way. Okay. Otherwise it's going to do this. So let's get to that one. And then, yeah, the indexers one. I want to save the yipes. I want to save that one for last. So let's come here. And this just declares the class. These required object initializer, that's the object initializer in there. And we put that in a semicolon at the end because that is correct. Okay. My camera, I just noticed, is blurring again. It's auto-focusing. I thought I changed that. I thought I fixed that. I guess I didn't. So sorry. I noticed that in videos I've been publishing recently that it's auto-focusing, and I thought I turned it off, and it's still doing it, and I don't know why, but kind of ignoring. Ignoring? I'm going to ignore it. And then I said annoying, and so I combined two words together. Yeah. Don't code while tired, kids. It's not a safe thing to do. Ugh. I should have also brought down water. My throat's a little parched. I'm definitely keeping it to 1 tonight. Okay. So, if we didn't actually have a syntax, then we're just saying return. That means you have no required inits. Now here is where it gets a little bit trickier. What we want to do is say var has required properties. It's false. We don't know that yet. But here, we're going to say this is or equal to required init property is required. Okay. As long as we have one, that's all that matters. Has. Not had. Has. And then we're going to pass that in here. And then we're going to say here, bool has required properties. And this is important because we get down to here. Okay. So now what we want to do is say, oh, shoot. I think up here, the self parameter. Yeah. Dear Lord, that's making it long. Var constructor per properties parameter is equal to. I'm going to grab all this. Okay. So either if you have something here, then what we want to say is it's going to potentially be that, except what we want to do is put in here has required properties. If it doesn't have required properties, then what we're going to do is emit that. Otherwise, we're going to do a string.empty. Is that not the most readable code you've ever read in your readable life? I have not had anything to drink, and I'm sounding kind of loopy. Okay, so we're basically taking all of this out there. Okay, so now we're saying you either put nothing there or you put something there. And if it doesn't have required properties, you can make it nullable. Otherwise, it's not nullable. Okay, now we come back down to here. So what we're saying is we have this object here. So what I want to emit is say this. That happens all the time, right at that right line. Okay. But now I got to say if has required properties, we're going to do one thing. Else, we're going to do something else. That just cracked me up. So we're watching The Boys, the show, me and my wife and my older son. And this is a spoiler of sorts if you haven't watched any of them yet. So if you don't want to hear it, don't listen until I kind of wave and then you can come back. But this is the end of season 2. And Stormfront gets just eviscerated by Homelander's son. Like her arms are cut off, her legs are cut off. And my son said, she just got Anakin. And I just laughed. Oh my God, that was hilarious. I couldn't believe that he said that. That was just well done, son. So was Anakin. Anyway, okay. So yeah, where was I? So if let's come back here. If we do have required properties, Yeah, I want to do writer.indent plus plus. And then eventually, I think we're going to do writer.indent minus minus when we get out of all this crap. So here we're going to say writer, that right line, except that. Okay, so that's if I just want to do this. Okay, so here I want to say var new mock is equal to that. Okay. And so then I want to put in here all the way to the end, but not the semicolon, the new mock. Okay. And the same thing here. I want to, except here I'm not going to semicolon it off. I'm going to say that. And the reason I want this is because here I want to say writer dot right line return. Shoot. I can't do that. Yeah, was I stupid? I want to say new. So here I would say return new. Here I would also say, this is in the case where, yeah, we want to just return a new that. Except we need to say new mock here and then a semicolon, right? Because in the case up here, we're saying it would be that, just rock heights. Yep. In either case, we're now going to do oh yeah, I need to do this crap. Son of a gun. That sucks. This is starting to get a little bit messy. This is unfortunately getting really messy. I really want to do the raw string literal, but I'm actually thinking this is starting to get to the point where it's not actually helpful. So if I say right line here, like what I want to do here is I think that got us back to where we were. Yikes. That kind of sucked. I really liked having the raw string literal in there, but it was just becoming too hard to do this in a clean fashion. Okay. So we're now going to say, if we don't have anything, we just return that at the right position. Otherwise, we're going to say return, we indent, we say throw. Otherwise, we're going to say that. And then we're going to do this. Except here we don't need an indentation because it's at the right indentation. So we still preserve that. And then we come back up. It's that simple, right? I think we got the right pluses and minuses for the indentation. So if we haven't done it before, now we do this. If we don't have any required inits, we just return a new mock. Otherwise, we check constructor properties as null. In the case where he has, we need to throw an exception. Otherwise, we do this. Otherwise, we create a new mock where that is the object initialization syntax, and we minus. I think that's correct. So let's see in the init case what this does. Of course, I'd be shocked if this actually did work, but okay, that is surprising. It actually says it succeeded. So we did this correctly. That is actually shocking that it actually worked. Okay, maybe you do code at night. I don't know. That's It's nice. Now this one I know is not going to work up to the point of here, because this is actually, I mean, it's not the right code, but if it does, then we could actually just do the rest of it and see what it looks like. So let's run this and see where it goes. What's also nice about it succeeding, that means it also compiles and it understands what the compile code, it says that that's actually correct, which is really nice. Oh, do I have the document name wrong? Test rock create. The class is test. Ugh, that problem. Ugh. It is easier to call this rock test. I should do all of my, like a sweep of all my tests and do this in a very consistent fashion, but this will fix it. And I'm glad, here's the thing, I've done that so much that I'm glad I recognize that right out of the gate. Because I think there's been episodes where I've done this before and I've gone down such a path. So I'm learning. I think that's showing that I'm learning. Okay, yeah, that failed. Okay, yeah, lots wrong here. There's a method expectations and there's no property expectations. That makes sense. Okay, so let's do that one first. So that goes away. Okay, so we have a method and then this also goes away. And that does say yes, yes, yes. You idiot. Yeah, I said that. I said I'm an idiot. There we go. Okay. And now this, oh, I actually thought the code was right. Surprising. Okay. Now the rest of this though is just things that it just went, you know, you should have had this in here and you don't. So this goes down to this is basically everything after handlers. Except what we want to do is say, and no, any of the pluses goes away. Any pluses. Do you literally not know what a character plus is? Are you joking? Apparently, you are too stupid of code to figure it out. Okay. So now we need to push this all over like 1 or 2 or something like that. Why do you think that there's a... Oh, are you joking? Okay, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. I'll be back. All right, I think that nightmare is over and we can start again. I don't know how much time that took me to update that crap, but it took a while. So I don't know how long I really am in this episode, but that's okay. Still feel maybe I'm off still a little bit. Yep. So equals doesn't have any, and then down here And then this is that. And it's basically these. But oh no, we're not doing that crap again. Or maybe we are. Yeah. I don't know why it's doing that. Probably because we're just, oh yeah. We're just doing a literal space is what we're doing. Now it should be okay. Famous last words. Still not quite there. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, crap. Yes, this is what I saw with the sharp lap. It doesn't know what it is unless you have these attributes here. And these attributes should just show up. So this is getting to the case where I'm not targeting .NET 7. I think that's part of it. I'm not sure. But I think this is a good time to stop because this meant that it parsed out correctly and now it's just, it doesn't know how to handle required. Okay. Which isn't ideal, but it's also not too bad. It does mean that some of these tests I really can't run until, because I haven't installed .NET 7 just yet. We are in September, so October, November. We got 2 months left. I'm assuming there's going to be a release candidate coming out, and then I can feel a little bit better about installing. I don't know why I don't install .NET 7 right now. I should just do that. I'm surprised the preview version. I get it. It doesn't install the preview version of 7 for you as well. I'm guessing is what's happening. But anyway, so this is progress. I think this is actually decent. And so we did that. Okay. And I'll remember to check this in before I go to bed at night. Commit, not check in, commit. Check in is an old way of saying things. So yeah, we got all that done. We must do this for makes as well. I'm kind of curious. Because I'm curious, what does mock do? Because we've been doing this in the mock constructor and section builders. This one is going to have to change too. It's going to have to basically do what we're doing over there. So we don't get it for free. It's because this, yeah. Oh well. We don't want to be too cute and trying to force that in. So we'll have to do that. I'm thinking let's actually do that next time. But then this indexer thing, yeah, it's very problematic. So you can't have a required indexer, which doesn't really matter because one way or the other, we're going to find that an indexer is at least an init. And if you want to set that, then how do I have any way to say, well, the indexer of this value or these 3 values is actually equal to this value? So I could make, like I said, an underlying dictionary. Can you make, here, let's finish off the episode this way. Can you do this? Can you say, like, var d is equal to a new dictionary of, we know it's like string and string. Okay. And you don't know what dictionary is because you're being a jerk. Using system. Okay, now I can't say var, I can say var d2 is equal to a new dictionary of a, let's say, string and GUID string. And we just rely upon the, yeah, fine, whatever. But here's the kicker. It's not really a kicker. It's just more of a, like, Yeah, tuple must contain at least 2 elements. So if the indexer has 1, then I just need to make the string there. If it has more than 1, then I need to put it in a tuple syntax. And actually this should be 3. That should be 1. Doesn't matter because it won't let you do that anyway. But that's okay. And then we would just use a new like here, if I say var constructor parameters, okay, not var, public. Am I making the, oh yeah, I am, okay. Just making sure I'm making public constructor parameters, okay. Camtasia crashed on me, or I inadvertently hit a very weird keystroke to get it to actually think I wanted to stop. So I have no idea how much I've been babbling on about. I guess I could look at the previous recording, but I'm just going to say at some point I came up with this for the indexers with initialize, and I wanted to be actually be set to these things. And so then I can pull out and say, hey, for this I0, A, and B, it's actually this. And that's what actually is going to be returned. And that's what you're going to set in whatever the object is that the mock makes. And it's responsible for handling the indexing. So I'm done because, again, the last video stopped and I wasn't noticing when or how it stopped. So we being me is going to have a fun time editing this and going, when did this actually cut? So I apologize for that. It's been pretty solid. And then all of a sudden, I don't know if I accidentally tabbed over and hit like the stop button because it had the focus and it stopped. I don't know. We'll find out in the actual recording. So yeah, but that's what we're going to do next time. And actually, now that I look at this, I don't think, famous last words, but I don't think this is going to be too bad. And it's, yeah, we got this covered now for all the cases. So I'm happy with that. All right, cool. So thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.